I'm Adrienne Rose.
I am Kane Roselle.
And I'm the art.
And I am the science
of transformation.
And we are Coast to Coach. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Kane Roselle, and I am the science.
And I'm Adrienne Rose, the art of transformation.
And we are Coast to Coach. Welcome, everybody. We are also blessed and grateful to have our awesome friend Julisa here with us. So, Julisa, how are you today?
I'm fabulous. I'm a high, full of energy. I'm a high vibration right now, regardless of what's transpiring around this world. Yay!
Beautiful.
It's certainly an interesting time, isn't it? We wanted to have Julisa on here because she is one of the highest energy people that I know. Every time I see her, she's just spreading her light in the world. She's a fellow coach. She's just out there really making a great impact on the world. So Julisa, tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, what do? I do a lot of things. It's so funny. People ask me that. So first off, I am a fitness competitor. I am a health and wellness coach. I've been studying with Bob Proctor in regards to the mindset, and I've been learning a lot, gaining a lot of knowledge to help others because I found my path and my purpose in life, and it's to inspire others and help out anybody who wants to shift their mindset or choose to live a healthier lifestyle. In addition, I am looking to publish a children's book this year.
Wow. That's amazing, Julie. So that's some incredible balance there, right? Absolutely. And was there anything, just curious, was there anything in particular that inspired you, especially in the health and wellness? Like was part of your story something that inspired you, or how did that come about?
Well, what inspired me is my fitness journey started at a young age. I was a teenager working out in the morning with my mom, watching I Love Lucy before school.
Aww.
And, yeah, so cute. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And then I was 14 years old, and then fast forward, I in my 20s, I studied exercise science and nutrition, and I got my certificate in that and massage therapy. So I loved how the body connection works and how we can transform ourselves. And so I loved how I can see different results just by implementing different workouts and different eating habits. So I ended up moving forward from that. I met up with an amazing gentleman who inspired me to take a chance on myself. And because of him, I met so many amazing people. And that's what prompted me to start train for my first competition. This was in my 40s. Actually, I was 40. I'm in my 40s now. I was 40 years old, and I had wanted to, for 10 years, do a competition, a fitness competition. And finally, I stopped saying should've, would've, could've. Mm-hmm. And I took a leap of faith, took a chance, started training with a coach, and I did my first competition the day before I turned 41.
When you say that you trained with your first coach, does that mean you had two coaches, so one that was doing mindset to get you to actually do it, and the other coach who was more on the health side of things?
I finally found a mindset coach last year. So back in when I first turned 40, I was going through this transition in my life of learning to love myself and embracing me as a woman and as a person. So during that journey, I found the strength within inside me to do these competitions. I've done 7 competitions thus far since 2016. And the coach that I had at the time for several years was just a coach to help me with training in regards to fitness competitions and nutrition. But then last year, I aligned myself with a mindset coach.
Mm-hmm.
And he is Bob Proctor's #1 consultant from around the world. And he actually trains and coaches some of Bob's highest people on Fridays via webinar. So that incorporating the mind-body connection is key. And I think it's key to have a coach, any type of coach or a mentor, so that you can get through certain points in your life and to help guide you.
Absolutely. I love that, Julie. So that's very inspiring. That's why you're here, right? So inspiring. Yeah. And the other thing I love about what you're sharing right now, and I'm also proudly in my early 40s, is that, you know, lots of people, right? I'm sure, especially people listening, some people will get that paradigm that I'm too old for whatever, love or whatever it is. And so that's so inspiring. What would you say to anybody that's having that thought right now, that has a dream, is being called to do something, but feels like they're old or even too young, right? That happens as well.
Well, going back to a paradigm, for anyone that doesn't know what a paradigm is, so a paradigm is a multitude of habits stored in our subconscious mind that controls all of our habitual behaviors. And I allowed because they say it's not hereditary, it's your environment that affects you. And I allowed my environment to prohibit me from moving forward. And I allowed my paradigms to prohibit me from taking chances in life. And your paradigms are neither good or bad, but I had to shift my habits and align myself with a mentor and realize, regardless of any age, we all have the potential to do anything in life. It doesn't matter if you're 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, you take a chance in life. And if you fail forward. At least you take a leap of faith. And it's about continuously taking those chances. Look at Edison. How many times did he try? Look at the Wyatt brothers. People, regardless of what people stated to them, that they can't fly an airplane, they can't put something up in the sky and fly it, they did not give up, regardless. And with me, reading the book that I love, Think and Grow Rich, has taught me and my mentor and the people I've surrounded myself that I can achieve anything I want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I'm going to keep thriving forward. And you know what's sad is sometimes people allow their environment or the people around them to prohibit them from moving forward because of their not knowing. It's their awareness. They're not aware of, when you shift that mindset, we all have the potential to do anything, to achieve anything, to take a chance in life. And like you, we're in our 40s, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you start off. If you envision something, if you desire something immensely, you go for it. Do not let yourself, your limited beliefs, other people's opinions to prohibit you from moving forward.
It's true. And you touched on like a really good point too, and that is who you surround yourself with, right? The rule of 5.
Yeah,
many of us have heard of the rule of 5, you know, just in terms of income. If you were to take the average of the 5 people you hang out with, that's probably about what your income is. But you can also look at, you know, emotional baselines. You know, if you're hanging around with a bunch of just negative people or whatever the case is, when you're having your bad day and you go to those people for comfort and advice and this, that, and the third, you can expect that kind of comfort, that kind of advice, that kind of consultation. But again, if you're just having the worst day that you've ever had and you've got yourself surrounded with uplifting people, or same thing, you have an idea, you surround yourself with idea people, their first reaction is like, well, who are you to do that? It's not like that at all. Those people are all like, of course you can do it. I know you can do it. And they can inspire you because they're doing it. And it's unbelievable just how much of an effect the people that we surround ourselves with really have. What do you think about that?
I firmly believe that. And like the rule of 5, you said, you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with. It can be an author, someone who's passed away. It could be a coach, a mentor. anyone that inspires you to grow. Because if we're not growing, we're dying. You want to surround yourself with people who empower you, encourage you, and who support you to become the best version of you. Because we all have infinite potential. Some people remain complacent or they limit themselves because of their lack of awareness, who they're surrounding themselves with, or they just don't believe in themselves. And finding that belief within inside you is key to achieving anything that you want. Because I went years with depression, and I had eating disorder, depression, limited beliefs. About a month ago, I did a Facebook Live and shed layers of myself, of opening up something that had happened to me in my past. And I still have a hard time talking about it, but I choose not to live in the past. It's about now and in the future. Right,
Yeah.
Adrian?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And thank you. And two, vulnerability is so important to help other people know, especially young girls. Not saying men don't have that, because of course they do, but especially for young girls to know, right? Just to be open about it. So that I saw that Facebook Live. That was so, so powerful. Kane even messaged me. He's like, did you see Julisa's Facebook Live? Like, yes, I did. Absolutely. And it is true on that point. I know you mentioned Bob Proctor. I've had the honor of studying with him as well as Mary Morrissey King too. And they are each other's coaches, right? Because they're at the top of their game. There's really nobody above them. They're also best friends. And I know from Mary being on her team that they talk every single day. So they are that inner circle, which is of course why we're all here together as well. So if you were to be able to, give people just one message, like just learn one thing in your life, what would that be?
Wow, it's tough. Just one thing.
Yeah.
To give to people. I'm that person who probably will go off on a tangent, and I apologize.
Go for it, girl. Go.
There's not really one message, but find yourself. If you don't love yourself, surround yourself with people who inspire you, who motivate you, who you feel you can be around and become the best version. And these are people who can be anybody, because I didn't have a mentor or a coach growing up. I didn't have someone that inspired me. Because if I had someone who inspired me, maybe in my 20s and 30s, I would be where I am now mentally. But I limited myself because I didn't love myself enough. And finding that person that you truly love and surrounding yourself with people who are going to encourage you. Because I find that there were people that didn't encourage me when I started shifting my mindset. And if I chose to stay around those people consistently, I wouldn't be where I am at now, doing these Facebook Lives, meeting you, and just learning to love you and be brave to take a chance in life. Take a chance on yourself, regardless of being and replacing fear. Replace fear with having faith. Because I lived in fear, and now I choose to live in a faith mindset, and to do this with you and share it with my audience on Facebook and soon to be on Instagram. But it's having faith and having a mentor or coach.
Yes, that's beautiful. Well said. Absolutely. I love that. I love it. And it is, I know mentors have made a huge, huge difference. In fact, I can't, especially being a coach, right? I can't imagine not having a coach personally. Like I just can't even, fathom that thought. So that is well said. Kane, what do you have to say about that?
I have a question.
Ooh,
Yeah. So what came up for me, as you were speaking, would be like, what would you say inspired you to become a coach?
What inspired me? Hmm. Well, when I started shifting my mindset and embracing the person I was becoming, I realized that I found my purpose, and that is to help and inspire others in any way possible. So, becoming a coach in regards to the mindset, health, and wellness is part of my journey. And I didn't realize it before, and I realize it now. But not only that, is to be up on stage. I foresee myself being up on stage in front of thousands and millions of people, sharing my journey and inspiring others to share theirs, because I've shed layers in regards to my past. And there are men and women who have dealt with a lot of issues growing up, and it's holding them back. And they're not able to release that 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 negative energy inside them in order to proceed forward and find their true purpose and learn to love themselves.
That's beautiful. I love it. I see that for you too. I see you on that stage without a doubt. That is so, so wonderful. And self-love is so important because, of course, we can't give away what we don't have. Right. And in fact, I just listened to Dr. Wayne Dyer before we got on, and that's one of his big things is that we can't give away what we don't have. And sometimes self-love can be a challenge for people, especially if they grow up not being taught that, right? Or if we grow up, especially being helpers in the world, being helpers. Do you ever have the experience, and this is no judgment ever, I have no judgment in my heart, but do you ever have the experience as a helper that you attract those people to you that just like need help, and so then it can actually like lower your vibration? And of course, vibration, love is the highest vibration, gratitude and fear, right, is a very low vibration, but it's like a moth to a flame. So have you had that experience?
Where I've been around people and they've somehow lowered my vibration, people that
Just
I've
being
wanted to help.
Yeah, just being a helper, like attracting friends or even relationships where it's like they need fixing, and they're like, ooh, I want what she has, because of course that's what we do for our clients. But in our, like, all of our friendships, right, we should have people, I believe, that lift us up as well, that don't bring us down. But again, and it's because, as Kane would say, our dominant energy is helpers, right? That when we're all called to help the world, that those people will kind of flock to us per se. So have you had that experience? I'm just curious.
Well, I have on my goal card, and I read it every day. I'm happy and grateful that, oh my gosh, now I forgot. I'm so happy and grateful that abundance comes to me in increasing quantities through multiple sources and on a continuous basis. So abundance is people, not just financially, but abundance is people coming to me that I can help and raise their vibration. And I've encountered some people that have, I feel it in my chest when they're very negative and I'm trying to help them, and there no way they're gonna shift their mindset. And I felt them lowering my vibration. And when I feel that, I have to get away from that person, because I feel that energy coursing through me, and I choose to live at a high vibration, because we're all energy. We are all energy. And you want to surround yourself with people who are going to raise that vibration, people you can help, people who want your help, people who are going to actually help me, because I'm still on this journey. I'm learning and growing. I'm going to learn and grow until the day I die. And I want to help and inspire as many people as possible as I continue to be helped and inspired. So have you, Adrienne and Kane, have you encountered people yourself who bring your vibration down, and how do you deal with it?
Same. I just kind of like, I don't give any more energy to it. That's it. That's it. It's kind of like a light switch. And if it should be that I need to spend more time and energy with that person, there's kind of like a mental switch that happens with me where, I just don't give more than I should. But just like anything, I'm a difference maker and a helper because I want to make a difference. And folks that are really suffering even if it's self-made, they need help too. But if you were to picture vibrations to be like a really, really tall ladder, okay? And we're all trying to help each other climb this ladder. You know, you may have people spread out, and so you've got some at the very top and some at the very bottom. Now, a person at the very top would not be expected for a 200-foot ladder, if there were such a thing, to reach down to the person on the very bottom rung and lift them up. But in turn, they would lift the people that are closest to them, just like the person above them is helping to them. And so the point here is you don't overextend yourself. Yeah. And you do that by realizing the situation for what it is. Okay? So you open your heart in a compassionate, loving way, giving from the heart, expecting nothing in return. And this goes to Adrian's point earlier about being so full, because you can't give what you don't have. So I always talk about like an overflowing cup, where you've got so much happiness and love and joy overflowing. It's like, here, take some, please. It's about to go on my table. Yeah. Right? So in that way, you take the situation for what it is. This is not a person that I am looking to get anything from, but I am here to help that person and give them what I can. Now, going back to the ladder example, you don't expect them to see the view from 200 feet up if they're at the ground level. And so that's what I mean by realize the situation from where it is. And by the way, that's in no way a diss on anybody. Because facts being facts, like I was on the bottom. I'm still climbing. I'm not at the top yet. I don't know a living person that's at the top yet. Certainly some are closer than others. And yeah, that's I guess, my knee-jerk reaction.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a great explanation. Absolutely. Yeah. And I definitely, I mean, I was there too. I went through a very, very dark period of my life. I already had my master's degree in psychology, but of course, lots of times what we know doesn't matter. And I lost my mom, both my grandmas within 2 years. And I just went whoop into this dark space. And I did therapy. And then thank God, all these coaches started to come my way. And I just said, yes, like pull me up that ladder, right? Yes, yes. I invested over $100,000 in 6 years. And it was probably about the fourth coach that appeared in my life that went, oh, I meant to be a coach. Okay. And that was in my early 30s because I had never used my degree. I wasn't called to therapy. I love therapy. It's made a huge difference in my life. I just knew it wasn't my calling. But I have had that experience. And sometimes it's not easy because we do want to help everybody because we're helpers in the world. One of my favorite things to do is to lift other people's vibration, even if it's the grumpy person at the grocery store and get them to smile or whatever it is. I love to be able to do that. So what I do in those situations is I literally ask spirit is this for the highest good of all? To help them. Because if I get a yes, which we all hear that little whisper very quickly, yes or no, I know it's not for their highest good nor my highest good, right? So, but because I'm a completely unselfish person. So if I hear that, if it's the highest good for all, yes, then I will do my best to lift them up. But like you said, not everybody is ready, right? There was a time I wasn't ready. And then of course, when I was ready, I love the saying that when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that because I too, sorry, Kane, I too smile at everyone that I come in contact with because you don't know what is transpiring in their life, in their mindset. Just a simple smile or a nice gesture will brighten up someone's day.
I remember Julisa had me go to my very first awesome, amazing, huge party. And honestly, like I didn't know anybody. I met her mentor for the first time there, but I had never spoken to him prior to that. And Julisa was there. I knew her and maybe one other person that had left the party shortly after I arrived. But I was actually really run down. I mean, I was really like tired. I had worked all day and, whatever the case is. But just Julisa being Julisa, I swear, like she kept an eye on me the whole time. She just made sure that I was comfortable. She introduced me to people, encouraged conversation. It was just a blast. And so what you're saying about like lending a smile or, giving positive vibes to people, like that made all the difference in the quality of my night. And that's just me. And that's just one time that has happened to me. I'm sure that each one of you can recall in your life different times where just somebody that was vibrating highly gave you something. And you're just kind of like, wow, thank God for you. Anyone want to share a story about a time that happened?
Adrian, did you want to share?
Um, my goodness. Let's see. There's been quite a few. Probably my very first coach, actually. She was actually a breath and wellness coach, and I was doing marketing for other coaches, actually. So I was at a networking event, and she spoke, and it was just her. First of all, her confidence, right? She's this beautiful, confident woman. Her confidence, and then she had asked when she did a breathing exercise if she could put her hands, ask permission, and I of course said yes. And when she came and put her hands on me, it was almost like electricity coming through my body. And what was interesting was she could tell by my breath, because this is her calling, that because I couldn't get my breath down to my stomach, that I'd been through a lot of trauma. And she knew at that moment she wanted to work with me. And so then she asked me afterwards, and I just immediately said yes. And I think that's another, with me and my experience with every mentor I've ever worked with, it's like that immediate yes. It's like, it doesn't matter what it costs. It doesn't matter. It's like, because the money will show up some way, right? It always does. But it's just like, bam, that immediate yes. And she definitely made this huge difference in my life, because I was ready at that point to transition to coaching. And she's incredible. And just everything, she got me out of my comfort zone. I mean, everything. She was exactly who I needed at that point, but there was just something in her I wanted. Her name is Zephora, and I'm forever grateful for her. And I've had many experiences like that for sure. Yeah. How about you, Julisa?
Well, years ago, I was introduced to personal development by a friend of mine, and I had never studied really personal development prior. So being around that person taught me a lot and raised my vibration, and surrounding myself with so many amazing people. It wasn't just one person. It's the people that, because of that person who I met, continues to raise my vibration. I can't just name one person, because there's a group of people that I'm blessed to know. And my friend who showed me personal development is also my mentor. And him and his beautiful daughter and the many other people that I've met along this journey continuously inspire me to become the best version of me. And I wish I had known this years ago. I wish this material was taught in schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? Don't you wish?
Absolutely. I hope someday it is.
One of my friends said he's a principal at a school in New Jersey, and he's teaching the young kids this material in school right now.
Wow. Yay.
Yeah,
And
that's
it's amazing. It's amazing to think that someone is actually doing this and taking a leap of faith. But I wish it was taught. And since it's not taught, it's here and now. And that's when I post about like the MMA that Kane and I are part of. And my mentor posts 5 days a week about the mindset and shifting those paradigms, those thought processes, and to replace fear with faith and not have that anxiety, especially this time. I've commented it and posted it on social media, and a lot of people still live in fear-based, and they're so programmed to say no. But if I chose to continue to say no, which I was programmed to from 20s, 30s, and almost in my 40s, I would not have done what I've done thus far.
Yep.
I would have never taken a leap of faith and take chances.
Yeah. I know I mentioned Mary Morrissey earlier. One of my favorite quotes of hers is that the content of our life is the curriculum of our transformation. Right? And I know for many of us, we wish we would have done things sooner or earlier. But the truth is, every single step we took, like you said, right, got us to where we are today. And so I hear you, right? Absolutely. Because I know a lot of people feel that way. But that's always given me peace, is to remind myself, and my clients too, is to remind them that, hey, this is your journey. Right. And also, too, Dr. Wayne Dyer will say that those of us who are called to help the world, our dharma is we go through more than others. Right. We have to, so we can have compassion for the masses, bottom line. Do you work with young girls? Since we're talking about
if young girls want to work with me, I will work with them. Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah. I will work with anybody. It doesn't matter what age you are. It's about inspiring you and helping you to grow and find your purpose. And it's about raising that vibration to find that power within inside, because we all have that inner strength within inside us.
That's exactly right. One question I had for you. Since I've known you, you're probably the busiest woman I know. 6 o'clock in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. And some days I'm sure it's all crunched together where there's not a lot of space in between. Other days I'm sure that's a little bit looser and, you can relax a little bit. But I know that this intimidates a lot of people who maybe they have goals, they have things that they want to do, but they look at it like, oh, there's so much work. Oh, I don't want to do all that kind of work. I guess my question would be like, what's it like for you having that kind of a life? And, what advice would you give to people that have a lot of really, really powerful goals that are going to take some time?
If you have really powerful goals, it's going to take time regardless. Everything in life takes time, but it's about writing down what you envision for yourself, writing down your goals, and creating like a daily method of operation, either in a calendar or on your phone, and each day working on those goals. If you desire, like myself, I desire, and I am an author. I will have that book published, but it's taking those daily steps to find an illustrator. I already know who I'm going through to get it published. Taking those daily steps, writing those goals down, and working towards those goals, and not to allow anybody to limit you, including yourself, because a lot of people have these goals or have an idea to do something, and then people knock it down and they listen to them. They're like, oh, you're right, I can't do this, I can't do that. Because even in school when we were young, we use our imagination. We desired, we had these goals, and then we listened to what other people would say if they knocked it down. My thing is, don't listen. If you want something, you desire something, create a plan, write it down, take action towards it. If you don't know how to achieve it, reach out to the people who have achieved that success. Reach out to the ones who are authors. Reach out to the ones who are physical fitness models, or whatever you are, coaches, mentors who have the results that you desire. Don't listen to the people who don't have the results. Listen to the ones who do.
Amen. I love it. I love it. It's so true. It is so true, right? Fastest way is a mentor and a vision and structure, to do it in a structure. And many people do think they don't have the time. And I love that you asked that, Kane, because we find the time for things that are important to us. And the truth is we create time. So I know there's a lot of people listening, watching Julisa, who would love to work with you. You just have amazing energy. So how can people best find you?
They can find me on Instagram at Julisa Medina _official. They can also find me on Facebook. I have 3 of them. There's Julisa Medina, just my name, but there's this main one that I actually use, and it's actually right now it's a TikTok video of me. I'm experimenting with TikTok now. Yes.
You're a riot.
44 years old and dancing.
That is for you. It's so inspiring.
Thank you. Thanks. And people can, I don't want to just give out my number, but if I don't accept you on Facebook, feel free to private message me via Messenger and I'll respond back to you. You can always find me on social media. That's where you normally can find me.
That's awesome. And your stuff really is inspiring. I've seen one of the great things, one of the many great things that Julisa's doing for the community is where so many people are either unemployed because of the coronavirus going on, or they're stuck at home in a quarantine or something. She's actually like doing fitness videos, which are super helpful. Like I actually use some of that information because, you know, you've been doing this so long and you've already worked it out. Like, hey, if this machine isn't available to me today, I could do this instead and get similar or the same result. Like you've done all of that because you've been doing this for so long. And it's just finding new, interesting, and innovative ways to keep giving and giving and giving. And so absolutely, any of our listeners here, like, make it happen. She is just a wonderful, wonderful person, and she'll do right by you. No question.
Thank you. And on LinkedIn as well, just Julisa Medina. A friend of mine stated to me, you need to start promoting more on LinkedIn.
LinkedIn is cool. LinkedIn is the only place that I know of where it's socially acceptable to just like friend request people you've never met before. Just for no reason at all. Like it's expected behavior because it's all business. It's great for networking and whatnot. All right, everybody. So this is going to send it to a wrap, but I just want to check in on Adrian. Are you able to say it today?
I don't know, Julisa, we have this thing going at the end of every week, and I just want to thank you too for being here. You're just so amazing and such a love and light in the world. So go for it, Kane. Ask me.
I just want to know. Can you say coast to coach?
Coast to coach. Yay, I did it. I haven't been almost. I don't know. Was that actually audible?
No, it was. I swear it was. That's why it was like 2 thumbs.
Were you having a hard time saying it, Adrian?
I have not been able to say it the whole time. And so we decided, hey, let's laugh at Adrian. I think laughing at ourselves is so important. I love to laugh at myself, right? Sometimes people take life way too seriously, and it's like, we just got to laugh. It's the best thing ever, especially right now. So I'm like, let's see. And I knew I'd get it someday, but to be honest, I'm not 100% confident I'll still get it because it still didn't sound right to me. So absolutely.
You have to laugh at yourself. It's humor. It raises your vibration.
That's right. It sure does. And it's so much better to be buoyant than weighed down in this remote life.
Yeah.
There's no question about that. Thank you, ladies. I really enjoyed this conversation. And,
absolutely.
Thank you to our listeners for tuning in and also enjoying this conversation. As always, we hope that we've served you well and that you got some good inspiration. And we will see you on the next episode.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.